Hello, today we're looking at the topic of modal verbs, and this is a very important topic in relation to grammar. They are very, very important and we use them all the time in English. You can see the majority of the modal verbs can, could, may, might, should, ought to, must, will, shall, and would. So they're very, very important and we use them most of the time in English. So this topic is very important and it's very big. We have lots of content related to this particular topic, and today we begin with beginners and maybe we move to the topic of probability, and that is the plan for today. So it's a very interesting topic, very important, and hopefully everybody can learn a little from this lesson. Questions. If you have a question during this lesson, if you want to leave a comment, please put your comment in the Facebook chat and I can answer any questions that you have during the lesson. So basically put your comment in the Facebook chat here and I can answer any questions that you have during the lesson. So give me one moment and I just open the chat and we can begin the conversation, because interactive is much better, especially if you have a question. So crew ma'am, thank you for your comment and let's begin. Okay, so it's a tricky topic, it's very important, and I hope it will be very interesting for you. And first, let me explain a couple of things for you. My schedule for the week is here, and this is available on my Facebook page. You can see my plan, my timetable for the week, and every morning we have grammar. Today, we have a lesson in relation to Portuguese, in relation to Brazil, and that's at 10:15 as well. So in fact, today the lesson is in English, but we speak about the topic of Brazil and an article and vocabulary about Brazil today at 10:15. Next at 11:45 is very, very interesting because we have a lesson dedicated to correcting writing. Correcting writing in English is a very important activity, and I hope I can show you some corrections and some help in relation to writing in English. So that's the plan for today. And you can see this timetable on my Facebook page as well. Subtitles are available. If you have a problem understanding me, you can select subtitles on Facebook Live, and that's a very good option as well. Next, everything is free. All my lessons at the moment are public and free, and this is fantastic. It's a very good project, and for me it's a very good idea to try to help, to try to reach more people online and to try and grow this project. That is my intention, to try and grow this project. However, I need support and I am looking for a company, a business, a school to support, to finance and to fund this project. In return, I can promote your company, I can promote your business during this lesson and talk about your company during this time to hopefully promote your business as well. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, and I think it's a very interesting idea. So you can contact me if you have any questions in relation to that. Other social media channels, we have Instagram at the top. You can follow my Instagram page on @melhora_inglés, and also on TikTok I have the account @melhora_inglés, and you can follow me on TikTok as well. And YouTube, the channel is very similar to the content on Facebook as well. Pinterest is similar to Instagram, and my Pinterest account is here as well. And finally, WhatsApp. If you have a question in relation to WhatsApp, in relation to the questions, the topic, the English, please ask your question when you want. So let's begin. This is the page. We use this page most of the time. It's the British Council website, specifically the section to learn English. For me, this is a brilliant website. It's fantastic, full of explanations, full of theory, and very useful. It's a fabulous page to learn grammar. It's very clear, it's very extensive. You cover a lot of different topics in this website. And for this reason, I think it's very good. And my plan is to follow the criteria, the curriculum, every day from this website. You can see the section is English grammar, and specifically, we move to the section of verbs. And today, specifically, we move to the topic of modal verbs. Okay, so let's begin. Learn about modal verbs and their different meanings, the little differences between the modal verbs, and also do the exercises on this page to practice using the modal verbs. So first we will explain the modal verbs and the differences about the modal verbs when we use a modal verb and why we use a modal verb. So we start with level beginners, and this is the list of modal verbs that we have in English. Can, may, must, shall, will, could, might, should, would. They are almost all the modal verbs we have in English. Now, first, can. In English, we use can specifically in situations for permission. Permission. I can go to the supermarket. I have permission to go to the supermarket. That's the first explanation for permission. The second explanation is for ability. Your ability, you can play the piano. You have the ability to play the piano. Also, language, you have the ability to speak Italian. You can speak Italian. So, can is very important for permission and very important for ability. And they are the two typical areas when we use can. May, could, and might, the three verbs may, could, and might, are very, very similar. We generally use them very similarly, and the three verbs have the significance in the context of possibility. I may go to the cinema. It's a possibility, it's an option. I may go to the cinema. I could go to the cinema. Exactly the same. It's a possibility. I could go to the cinema. I may go to the cinema. It's an option. I might go to the cinema. All three very, very similar in the area of possibilities. I may go to the cinema. I might go to the cinema. I could go to the cinema. Options and possibilities. And that is the time and the context for using the modal verbs may, could, and might. Remember, can is for ability and can is for permission. May, might, and could are for possibilities and options. Must is different. Must is very different. It's for obligation. Obligation has the significance of no option, no choice. You must do something. It's an obligation and you have to. Another way to say must is the structure have to. We have lots of examples for obligation. You must collect the children. You must talk to your friend. It's an obligation and you have no choice. And that is the time we use the modal verb must. Okay? Shall is more formal. Shall is quite formal, and we use shall for a similar sense of will for the question. For example, shall we go to the cafe? This is a question. Will we go to the cafe? Shall we contact your friend? This has the same context. Will we contact your friend? It's a question. Shall definitely is more formal, and that's probably the biggest difference compared to will. Shall is more polite, shall is more formal, will is more general. And in fact, will represents the future. The general simple future, we use the modal verb will. I will go to the cinema. I will watch the television. I will contact my friend. It is considered a modal, but we frequently use it in the future, for the future. And that is very, very important. So will is so common in English. We use it all the time. I will contact my friend. I will travel to this town, etc., etc. Next, we move to the modal verb should. Should is typically used in the context for advice and recommendation. So we have many, many situations when we need to advise your friend, advise somebody. And we also have many, many situations when we need to recommend something or recommend to somebody. In these areas, we use the modal verb should. For instance, advice. You should contact your friend. This is my advice for you. You should contact your friend. And that is advice. Okay? So important because a parent advises the child all the time. Friends advise each other all the time. So should is massively important in English. The next context is recommendation. You should watch the movie. So it's very similar to advice. Advice and recommendation are very similar because they're more or less the same idea. But really, that's the definition for advice and for recommendation. You should visit this village. You should contact your friend, etc., etc. Next is the modal verb would for hypothetical situations. Typically in situations that you imagine. I would like to visit Italy. I would like to visit Africa. I would like to watch this movie. Hypothetically, in theory, I would. Pronunciation is very important as well. Would, which the same pronunciation as the material of the table, it is made of wood. So they are the majority of the modal verbs, and as I have explained, we use them in different times, different contexts, and that is very, very important in English when you learn modal verbs at the beginning. That's the most important thing, to know the different contexts when we use these modal verbs. Okay, let's continue to the next explanation. We use modals to show if we believe something is certain, possible, or impossible. So this is another perspective. Basically, we use modal verbs in situations for certain. If you are definite, if you are secure, if you are certain. We also use modal verbs in situations for possibility. If something is possible or something is impossible. So this is the definition of when we use modal verbs. For something is certain, something is possible, or something is impossible as well. Here are a lot of examples. My keys must be in the car. Preposition for the car is in the car because you open the door and you get in the car. So this is the correct preposition for the car when you get in the car. The modal verb is must, and the next verb is the verb to be. But the rule, very important rule, after the modal verb, the next verb, we eliminate to. That's the rule. After all the modal verbs, must go, should go, might go, could go, may go, ought to go. That's correct, correct, correct. The error is must to go? No, because after the modal there is no to. Okay, so this sentence, my keys must be in the car, you are certain. Here you are certain. Okay, for a possibility, my keys might be in the car, my keys could be in the car, my keys may be in the car. 3 verbs for possibility. And impossible, must not be in the car. So that's another, sorry, impossibility is cannot, can and cannot. It's not possible. So here is the final example. That can't be Peter's coat. It's impossible. Okay, so that's impossibility. And also certainty. It's too small. It's excessively small. The second example, it might rain tomorrow. This is a possibility. Not certain, not impossible. It's a possibility. And might is the same as may and could. It might rain tomorrow. It may rain tomorrow. It could rain tomorrow. They are very, very important lessons to understand in relation to modal verbs. Next, also, we use modal verbs for ability. So we have lots, as I explained already, we have lots of different situations when we use modal verbs, and ability is one situation. Can, permission is also for the modal verb can, as I said, ability, permission, and make requests and offers. So basically the modal verb may or could or would are also typical to make requests and offers in the question form. And I think that's fine because it's the general rule to make a question. You change the position of the verb and the subject. So it's a general rule to make a question, but it's typical for making a request or an offer as well. First example, I cannot swim or I can't swim. So this is your ability. You have no ability to swim, and I have explained this already. I can't swim, I can't play the piano, or I can. Ability or not ability. Permission. May I ask a question? Very polite. May I ask a question? The affirmative. I may. To create a question. May I. This is the same as could I ask a question? Might I ask a question? May I ask? Could I ask? Might I ask? Are all possible ways to ask polite questions with the modal verbs. Next is a request. Could I have some tea, please? So it's very logical structure, and could is possible to change. May I have some tea, please? Could I have some tea, please? Might I have some tea, please? Remember, may, might, and could are very, very, very frequently used in the same situation and possibly used in the same situation. And the final example, would you like some help? This is an offer or a request. Would you like some help? As I explained, would is typical for hypothetical. I would like in theory, but it's possible to question would you like as well. Okay, so that's the basic introduction for modal verbs, and very good. Questions, if you have a question, please put your question here. And hello Wasana and hello crew. So could I greeting like this? What exactly do you mean, crew ma'am, in relation to the greeting? What exactly is your question in relation to a modal verb and greeting? I'm not sure of your question specifically because I assume it's related to modal verbs, and you can remind me of this specific question if you want to ask that question again. Okay, let's continue to the questions. So now I have explained a lot of the theory of the modal verbs. Now we have 12 questions, and the question is, what's the meaning of the modal verbs? What's the significance, the meaning of the modal verbs in these sentences. Choose the correct meaning. Okay, so that's very, very important. And let's begin. That man can't be a doctor. He can't be a doctor. He looks too young. He looks excessively young. That man can't be a doctor. Remember, can is typical for ability and typical for permission and typical for things that are impossible. So, is it impossibility or is it prohibition? Remember, the verb to prohibit is to not permit, to prohibit. So, what do you think? Is it the sense of impossibility or the sense of prohibition? This man can't be a doctor. He looks too young. The correct answer, I think, is impossible. It's impossible this man is a doctor because he is too young. I understand people might think prohibition, and that's fine because the verb can and can't is typical for prohibition. But in this particular case, it's impossibility. He can't be a doctor. Okay, let's continue. Number 2. Can and can't. Again, you can't wear jeans at work. It's impossible. You cannot wear jeans at work. Men have to. Is this another way to say must? Men must wear a suit and tie. Is this impossibility or is this prohibition? And this is very interesting. What do you think is the correct answer? For me, it's very, very clear. For me, it's prohibition. You are not permitted, you are not allowed, you are not permitted to wear jeans at work. You must, you have to wear a suit and tie. For me, it's prohibition, clearly. Okay, let's continue to option 3. Question: did you know that Mozart could play the piano by the time he was 5? The modal verb is could. The next verb is to play, but after, excuse me, so could is the modal, the next verb is to play, but the rule, after the modal, we eliminate to, always, except have to, or ought to. So could is the modal verb. Normally could is for possibility. And also could, I think, is the past of can. So it could be ability also, and playing the piano is certainly related to ability. But let's read again. Did you know that Mozart could play the piano by the time he was 5? Was this a possibility? He had the possibility to play, or he had the ability to play? Of course, very similar, but we must select the correct answer. And the correct answer, I think, is ability. Mozart had the ability, not the possibility. He had the talent and the skill and the gift to play the piano. And for me, I think that's the correct answer. Let's move to question 4. I'm not sure. So this is related to certainty and uncertainty. I'm not sure where the cafe is. I'm not sure of the location of the cafe. I think the cafe could be in the next street. The modal verb is could. The next verb is to be in the infinitive, removing to. So I'm not sure where the cafe, I think it could be in the next street. Is this possibility or this is ability? For me, it's very clear. What do you think is the correct answer? For me, it's a possibility because I'm not certain. It could be, it might be, it may be. Remember, they are all possible. Could, may, might be, all possible. In the same sense, and this is definitely the possibility. that the cafe is in the location in the next street. Number 5. Okay, sentence. When you have finished, present perfect. When you have finished the test, you may quietly leave the room. So may normally is for possibility. I may go to the cinema, and may is more or less the same as could and might. However, in this sentence, is it possibility or permission? Very little difference. They're very, very similar, the possibility and the permission, but you may quietly leave the room has the significance here for permission. You are allowed, you are permitted to leave the room quietly. You have the permission, but yes, you have the possibility, but more specifically, I think it's permission from the other person. That's my opinion. I think that could be correct. I don't know what you think. Do you have the same idea? And let's continue to the next question. I am busy. I'm occupied tomorrow, but I may be able to see you on Thursday. I'm busy. I'm occupied, but I may be able to see you tomorrow. I might be able to see you tomorrow. I could be able to see you tomorrow. Is this possibility or permission? This is very interesting. What do you think is the correct answer? For me, definitely, it's more possibility. I have the possibility to see you tomorrow. I might see you tomorrow. I could be able to see you tomorrow. It's a possibility. In this case, not permission. It's more possibility. So let's select that answer and move to the next question. You know what? You know what? I think this rain might be stopping. Might is the modal. It's very similar. Might, may, could. And I think you can say might be stopping, could be stopping, may be stopping. Is this sentence possibility or permission? For me, it's very clear again. What do you think is the correct answer? For me, it's a possibility. The rain possibly might be stopping. So I think that is the correct answer here. It's a possibility. The rain might be stopping. The rain could be stopping. The rain may be stopping. There's 3 possible verbs connected to the same sense. May, might, could. Okay, let's continue. 5 more. And I hope that you are trying to do these exercises as well. Next, I know you are busy. I know you're occupied. I know you have no time. But might I? We change the position of the subject and the verb. Might I? May I? Could I ask you a quick question? Okay, so this is the modal verb might, and it has the same significance as may or could, but we change the position of the subject and the modal. Might I ask you a quick question? May I ask you a quick question? Could I ask you a quick question? Is this for possibility or this is for permission? What do you think? For me, it's clear. Yes, it's a possibility. Can I possibly ask you a question? But it's more permission. It's a stronger sense of permission. You're asking for permission. And for me, it's just a little better for permission. Possibility, similar, but more specifically, it's permission. Next. I'm just writing to say, so this is the present continuous. To create the present continuous, we need the subject, the auxiliary verb to be, plus the gerund, ing, I am writing. Just has the significance only. I am only writing to say congratulations in relation to your engagement. The verb is to engage. Before you marry, you engage. And this is exactly the situation here. The person is engaged, and engagement is the noun. And the modal, you must be really happy. The modal is must, which is typical for obligation. You must collect the children. You must contact your friend. Obligation, obligation. But also, it's possible for when you are certain, when you are definite, when you are sure. And in this particular case, you must be really happy. I am certain. I am sure. Definitely you are happy because it's positive. Situation, engagement, you have to be happy. You must be really, really happy. There's no doubt. It's certain. So for me, the best option is certainty. It's a certainty. You are sure the person must be really happy. That's a little difficult to think about, I think, and always the grammar is tricky to think about and study. Grammar is heavy, grammar is difficult, and today is the same, but you must contemplate this explanation frequently. Okay, 3 more questions. You must make sure, you must make certain that you save all documents in the correct folder. You must make sure, you must make certain that you save all the documents in the correct folder on your computer or your paper. The modal is must, and must is typically obligation. You must collect the children. In this case, is it obligation or certainty? And in this case in particular, it's more obligation. You have the obligation to make sure that you save all the documents. It's obligation. It's a requirement. The second possible way to say this is have to. You have to make sure that you save all the documents. You must make sure. So this case is obligation. 2 more. And here is a question. The modal verb is will, and will is typical in the future. For example, I will come, I will go. That's the future, but it's considered a modal. The subject is you. So the question, we change the position of the subject and the verb. The first verb, the auxiliary, will you come with me, please? Is this certainty or willingness? So willingness is more your determination, your content to do something. So are you content to come with me, please, is the sense, because willing is a very important word in English. It means are you content and happy to do something? Are you willing to come with me? Are you happy? Are you content to come with me? Or are you certainly coming with me? This is difficult because the question is asking for certainty. Will you come with me? But I think the second option is a little better. Are you content? Are you happy to come with me? I think I could be wrong. It's a possibility I have a mistake, but let's continue to the last question. These chocolates are tasty, are delicious, are lovely. These chocolates are lovely, they're delicious, they're tasty. But I will be sick. The modal verb is will, and typically this is the future. I will be, adjective, sick or ill if I eat more. So the modal verb is will, and in this case, is it willing? Are you content? Or are you certain? For me, it's very clear. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer, I think, is certain. I am sure, I am certain I will be sick if I eat more. And I think that's the correct answer, and I think that is everything correct. But of course, I might have mistakes. It's definitely possible. I have made some mistakes, and here, here we check the answers. So we finish, and 12 from 12. Okay, that's good. So they are all the questions and the answers for modal verbs in the exercise, and I think that's very, very useful. A very good exercise. So let's review and let me explain again from the beginning. Modal verbs are here. These are the modal verbs: can, may, must, shall, will, could, might, should, and would. We specifically use modal verbs for situations that are certain, situations that are possible, situations that are impossible, situations for ability, situations for asking permission, and situations for making a request, or making an offer. Okay, so can is typically for ability and permission. I can go to the match tomorrow. I have the ability to go to the match and the permission. May, might, and could are more for possibilities and options generally. I may go to the cinema. I might go to the cinema. I could go to the cinema. But also for permission. May I go to the cinema? Could I go to the cinema? Might I go to the cinema? So to create the question, the request, we change the position of the subject and the modal verb. Must is obligation and willingness and certainty. You must be happy. I am certain you must be happy. I must collect the children. Obligation, certainty, obligation, and willingness. Must I do this exercise? Maybe. So it's possible to create the question again. Shall is more formal for will in the future. Okay, should is for advice. You give advice, or the verb to advise, and would is maybe for a question or for hypothetical situations in theory as well. Okay, and that is the lesson more or less for today, because the next section is very, very big, and we have a lot of content in the next weeks to discuss specifically about modal verbs. For example, we have a topic related to probability, we have a topic related to ability, we have a topic related to permission, requests, offers, invitations, suggestions, obligations, can, could, may, might, will, would. So we have a lot of different exercises and topics to begin, but I think for today that is sufficient just to give you an introduction to modal verbs, and tomorrow we move to the section of probability. My suggestion, my advice for you is read this page about probability before tomorrow's lesson, and this will give you a good idea and a good background before we begin tomorrow's lesson. So I recommend that you read the page related to probability today before tomorrow's lesson, because tomorrow I will begin this topic of probability. Also, the second perspective, the second advice is the Cambridge Dictionary website for grammar. So the Cambridge Grammar website is very, very good, and it's an excellent source, and it's full of brilliant information, very clear information, and very, very good. So this website is the Cambridge Dictionary, and they have a section dedicated to modal verbs and modality, which is the same. So if you really want to push your studies about modal verbs, I recommend that you look at this page as well and try to understand the definition, which is basically the same. For example, modality is about a speaker's or writer's attitude towards the world. Okay, so a speaker or writer can express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, and ability by using modal words and expressions. So again, it's the same explanation. Speakers often have different opinions about the same thing, and it's your perspective. So modal verbs are perspectives. And here are the main verbs we use to express modal meanings: can, could, may, might, will, shall, would, should, must. Semi-modals, this is interesting. So similar to modals: dare, need, ought to, used to. Very interesting. And other verbs with modal meanings have got to, going to, and able to. Okay, so obviously this topic of modality and modal verbs is very important, and I suggest that you try to learn this in detail. Great, so that is everything for today, just to give you an introduction related to modal verbs. Questions. If you have a question, please put your question here in the chat. And Ploy, Sapphire, good morning, and Wasana, then Pechara, thank you for watching, and hello everybody. And now is the opportunity. If you have a question, any questions, it's the chance, it's the time for you to ask a question and to interact specifically. And now I have the opportunity to answer any questions that you have. And I think that's everything for today. So I will wait a couple of seconds just to see if there's any questions. But remember, my schedule is the same as last week, and you can follow my schedule on Facebook. And also, contact, if you want to contact me, Instagram page, Add Melior Ingles, TikTok page, YouTube page, Pinterest page, and WhatsApp as well if you have any questions or comments you want to make in relation to the lessons. And everything is free. Everything is free and public. All the lessons are free and public, but I am trying to contact companies and businesses to try and support me. So I can put your company information here. I can speak about your business, and I can put the logo and everything you want here for your business. And I'm looking for a company, a business, a school, a charity to support and finance my project. So that is my plan at the moment, and hopefully I can find somebody or some company to support me in that way. Okay, great. So no questions, and I think that's everything for today. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll just finish. Thank you, everybody, and have a very good day, and hopefully I will talk to you very soon. Remember, the next lesson is today at 10:15, and it's related to Brazil and Portugal. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day, and hopefully talk to you soon. Bye bye.